Welcome to our news network. The White House has just released a statement saying that President Trump has reversed his plans to impose sanctions and tariffs on Colombia after it agreed to accept deported migrants from the U.S. Earlier, the Colombian President Gustavo Petro had objected to the migrants being returned in U.S. military planes, saying they should be treated with more dignity. Donald Trump responded with a flurry of retaliatory measures against Colombia, including 25% tariff on its goods. Colombia quickly responded with a reciprocal threat of 50% tariffs on goods from the U.S. This after Colombia blocked U.S. military deportation flights that were carrying around 80 migrants from landing in the South American country. The Colombian president said migrants should be treated with dignity and as they were not criminals, and Trump also said he would immediately revoke visas for Colombian government officials and supporters of President Petro. But now would seem this whole row has been diffused, with Colombia's president sending his presidential plane to collect the deported migrants from the United States. Well, let's go live to Bogotá now to speak to Richard Mcll, a freelance journalist based in Colombia. What a flurry of activity. It's hard to keep up, isn't it? It's been a long day for us here, watching social media and listening to various outlets about what's going on, but it does seem like the crisis has been averted for now. They have reached an agreement. Of course, it's being viewed in the U.S. as a major victory for the Trump policy on migrants, but of course we need to go back to the basics, don't we? It wasn't that Colombia was refusing the entry of migrants, it was just these two planes, the military planes. It was Colombia's policy has been that peace policy has been that he wishes for his countrymen to be returned in a dignified manner. Colombia received over 120 planes last year, so it's been a war of words over technicalities. And do you think this is now completely diffused, or could it erupt again depending on logistics? Well, it's a difficult one. Well, I don't think it's gone entirely well. We have our first ever leftist president in charge here in Colombia, and of course his politics don't sit well with the politics of those in the White House in the United States, so they're going to come to a head again. This is undoubtedly going to be the case, interestingly as well, because President Petro was very vocal on social media, as you say, with his comments, his various threats. It was quite interesting at one point to see these two presidents playing it out in the world of social media. Indeed, at one point President Petro wrote a 700W almost poetic tweet starting out saying how boring he found visiting the USA. But I think we really need to look at what's going on in Colombia as well. I don't think it was planned this way, but at the very same extent this state, as you say, a flurry of diplomatic spat has actually diverted attention away from very serious issues taking place in the region of Catatumbo in Colombia, where there is ongoing conflict between warring gangs, and it's well out of control. And I think maybe President Petro has taken some relief from that over today. Interesting. Richard & Co. Thank you for your time and digest.